Have a seat, girl. Have a seat.
Coming, girl.
Hold on.
My knees.
I'm coming. All right, welcome back, everybody, to It's Hard Out Here. My name is Hayley, and I'm joined today with my stunningly gorgeous, beautiful, charismatic, magnetic co-host, Miss Kezwa.
Shut up, girl. You're basting me up. You're giving me a head.
You're too good.
I'm too good.
So today we're going to talk about a little bit of mental health. Mental health stigma. I think it's very important, and we're going to discuss how it's different in males versus females. And we're hoping to touch on gender non-binary people as well. Make sure you sit back, relax, get yourself a bit of a beverage,
We've got tea.
We've got tea.
We've got green tea, girls.
Relax, girls.
But before we do that, I've got to do a shot.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I've got to do a shit. And I'm like, it's a bit late for that now.
I mean, you can record me doing a shit.
Taking margaritas off.
I've got a shot of
sleep juice. Oh, de-stress juice.
De-stress juice, because I forgot to take my meds today.
Yeah.
So, ooh. Cheers, shorty.
Are you going to show them what we're hiding under this table?
What we are hiding under the table. We've got a 1 kilo bag of worms. Sour worms. Edible worms.
Gummies.
We also have Marvelous Creations. And which I absolutely shattered on the ground of Woolies.
I've got my tea.
I got my tea. I've got my blueberry muffin.
Yeah, and then because Kez is an absolute sick bitch, she's also got her Prime. Have you finished it already?
No, I haven't. No.
It was disgusting.
They're not the nicest of drinks, are they? They taste like medicine.
They taste like Colgate.
Pepto-Bismol kind of bullshit.
Yucky. Disgusting. Anyway, let's jump straight into the meat and potatoes of it.
I love meat. I said that very much forgetting that you were a vegetarian. I mean, what meat are we talking about?
Horrified looks from everyone in the room.
Okay.
Alright. First, I think we need to discuss what stigma is. Because we're going to look at who faces more mental health stigma. Men, women, or non-binary people. So we need to figure out what is stigma before we can measure it. So, mental health-related stigma is an umbrella term that includes social, public stigma, self-stigma, perceived, professional stigma, and cultural stigma. Social stigma refers to the negative attitudes toward and disapproval of a person or group experiencing mental health illness rooted in misperception that symptoms of mental illness are based on a person having weak character. These perceptions can lead to discrimination, avoidance, and rejection of person experiencing mental illness. This is usually the type of stigma that is discussed most often. Self-stigma is the internalization of social stigma, in that the person with the mental illness feels shame about his or her symptoms. Professional stigma assumes that the health professionals transfer and reinforce stigmatization of their clients, while cultural stigma comprises the various ways that individual cultures interpret mental illness. So those are from Cerulli et al. 2018, Hack et al. 2020, and Holder et al. 2019.
All right. So what are some examples of mental illness stigma?
All right. Moving on.
Interesting. Anyways, so what are some examples of mental illness stigma? When someone with a mental illness is called dangerous, crazy, or incompetent rather than unwell, it is example of a stigma. It's also stigma when a person with mental illness is mocked or called weak for seeking help. Stigma often involves inaccurate stereotypes. I think that's a very, like, the dangerous and crazy bit.
Yeah.
I think it scares everybody across most genders, especially...
Yeah.
Like... If you're a woman and you get caught, like, you're like, I am depressed. And then they're like, oh, you're on your period or something like that.
Like they minimize it.
Whereas, like, a man, if they're like, I'm depressed, it's like, oh, you're a pussy. You're a pussy. Man,
pansy.
Man up.
And I think that, you know, the effects of stigma kind of come from when people generalize what people are like with mental illness. Like, sure, some people with mental illness are dangerous, but not everyone with mental illness is dangerous.
No. I've got mental illness, so I'm not dangerous. I mean...
I've got mental illness, and I probably am a little dangerous.
No.
Have you seen me drive when I'm manic?
I buy things on manic.
Yeah. I'm a danger to myself as well as society.
I think I'm a danger to my bank account when I'm having a manic episode.
One time I got manic and I spent like $5,000 on stocks.
Oh my God.
But that was probably the best manic decision I made.
Oh, that's not funny.
Yeah, I was in like the peak of COVID-19. I've made a lot of money off that. Anyway, don't listen to me.
Anyways, stigma leads to obviously delayed treatment, increased morbidity.
So, dead.
And diminished quality of life for those with poor mental health.
Yeah, so that's kind of
there's a fear.
Yeah, it's like the cycle. So you get stigmatized when you get diagnosed with mental illness, but then you also don't want to be stigmatized, so you don't seek the diagnosis for mental illness, and it's just a cycle which perpetuates mental illness, and everyone's just getting sicker by the day. So a study from the Australian Bureau of Statistics in 2022 stated that more than a third of women experience an anxiety condition in their lifetime. Another study suggested, this is the same study. Men are less likely to seek help for mental health conditions than women. A different study from the ABS in 2022 stated that in Australia, men are 3 times more likely to die by suicide than men.
That is why whenever a man says that they're sad, I'm like, spill the beans. Tell me.
Yeah,
tell me everything.
Let it all out so you don't, jump off a bridge.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm, with Logan at home, he'll straight up be, so stressed out, and he'll just be, remain busy because he's so, stressed and overwhelmed. And I'm like, just sit down. Tell me.
Have a cup of girl.
Tell Mama what's wrong.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Write it down in a journal. Get it out.
Yeah, literally. Whereas I, sit there and I'll cry.
Yeah.
And I'll chuck a tantrum.
No, I'm more like Logan. I'm like, no, I gotta be busy, I gotta be distracted.
No, I'll cry. I don't care. I don't care, girl.
Sometimes I will, when I get to a certain point. So before we kind of go into each of the genders, and for the point of this argument, we're just mainly going to stick to male and female. I do recognise that there is gender beyond the binary, but we are simply going to... Well, we might touch on, non-binary a little bit but
queer.
Yeah, but it's mainly male versus female, just for ease of argument.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be hella long. Anyway, so before we jump into that, I guess this is kind of jumping into it. I kind of wanted to discuss how certain diagnoses, certain mental health disorders, are overdiagnosed in different genders. So ADHD has been overdiagnosed in boys, and then BPD has been overdiagnosed in girls. So these symptoms present... It's kind of... Let's take on ADHD first. So in ADHD, symptoms present differently in females than males. So whereas females will kind of daydream, males will be like that really hyperactive, easy, like typical ADHD, you know what I mean? Whereas females will be more off with the pixies and just like aloof.
Yeah.
So that's why ADHD has been underdiagnosed in females, just because of that different way that it presents.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and then BPD overdiagnosis, this is where we kind of lead into, oh, the women are crazy kind of thing. Borderline personality disorder is overdiagnosed in girls because when people are often, they don't stick to norms, people are very easily go, oh, yeah, that's borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
So it can also be very stigmatizing because this and creates complex trauma, because a lot of services, like public health services, don't recognize this as a health disorder. So, and also police, if the police know that you have been diagnosed with BPD and you make a call to the police, they are much more likely to disregard that call. So
I feel like bipolar gets like stigmatized. That and like schizophrenia get stigmatized a whole lot more. I mean, I believe they all do.
Yeah.
But bipolar and schizophrenia, whenever someone's schizophrenic, it's like they are dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's like they might not be.
Yeah.
They might not be. Yeah, they also can be.
Yeah.
And bipolar, you know, as soon as, you know, you cry, you're manic for a moment, and then
they're dangerous, they're psycho. I feel like
crazy.
I feel like jumping off of that as well, in like 2014 Tumblr era, it was glamorous and cool to have eating disorders, anxiety, depression.
You know what really kills me?
What?
When people romanticize mental health, and it's like,
and I feel like that's where it's at with depression, anxiety, and eating disorders.
Yeah, like it's apparently, you know, it's kind of fucking cool to have one, and you know, people don't hesitate to be like, I am depressed.
I'm so anxious.
Oh my God, I'm so anxious. And I'm like, girl, you wouldn't know anxiety if you fucking fell over it.
If anxiety hit you, babe, you'd think it was a heart attack.
Like, yeah, all of that stuff about like on TikTok where it's like a positive morning routine against depression, and I look at them and they are,
oh my babe, how'd you get out of bed?
They are hygienic.
Yeah.
First of all, like, when I was depressed, when I was in my hole, I struggled to do day-to-day things. Like,
I was quite high functioning.
I was unmotivated. It was a mission to have a shower. It was a mission to brush my teeth. I would come home from work and I was straight in bed. I couldn't clean the room.
No.
And I was just living amongst just like...
Yeah, that was kind of me as well.
Yeah, like...
I was in my own little cesspit.
You can't romanticize that bullshit.
It's dangerous.
Because
that's dangerous.
That's dangerous, because that is when, you know, you end up with other like fucking infections because you haven't washed in like 2 weeks or something.
So I feel like
I've gone that long without washing.
I mean, a lot of people have though.
A lot of people do. Like they don't brush their hair for months.
I've seen TikToks where they've got like big burrs in their hair.
Yeah, they've come in like matted.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's depression. But I feel like, for those, they're kind of romanticized and it's kind of going in the other direction. I feel with autism and ADHD, it's kind of becoming more understood. And I feel like that's it's starting to become at a good level of acceptance. And then schizophrenia, borderline personality disorder, bipolar, it's still very much taboo.
I've met somebody with schizophrenia.
I have too. One of my family is.
They're like, it's like you're talking to a normal person, but it's almost like you're talking to like another person at the same time. Like they are so
schizophrenia
edgy. They are so like
it can present so differently in like different people.
It's very interesting. I know, because I did a bit of psychology when I did primary teaching. One of our topics was schizophrenia, and it fascinated me, like looking at how the brain was developed different, how it is developed different to a brain that doesn't have any signs of schizophrenia. And like
Yeah,
the
like
symptoms.
if you go on a scan, people diagnosed with different things, their brains are so different. Like different parts of their brain are more atrophied than other parts, and some parts are like overactive when you look at it in like an MRI or something.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think fascinating.
Yeah.
With like schizophrenia, if you get them to write a paragraph or something, we saw this thing where this patient had schizophrenia and they got him to write a paragraph and he made up words. Yeah. He made up words and phrases in his paragraph and everyone was like, I don't know what that means. But yeah, he just like made up words and it was crazy. Or you see like artists that before,
that could be with bipolar as well, where they're in a really heightened state.
Yeah, you see like a lot of artists before like being diagnosed, and their art is quite calm. It's beautiful, and then when their mental health like worsens, you see like the art like become more erratic, and it's crazy. Yeah, it's really fascinating. Like it's definitely something that interests me a lot.
Yeah, that's why I loved studying like psychology and stuff. And I feel like it's really easy. Well, this kind of leads into like the overdiagnosis in BPD. Yeah. Kind of I feel like stems from female hysteria. Yeah. So this like even in as far back as ancient Egypt, like 500 BC, they believed that a lot of health problems stemmed from a floating uterus. Pardon me. So anything that couldn't be figured out was labelled as hysteria all the way up until like the 20th century. And it was commonly diagnosed in females. Yeah, mostly. Yeah. I think they did do some males as well, but like then we realised males didn't have uteruses. Yeah. As soon as somebody didn't conform to the normal standards. Like, so let's say that, let's go, I don't know, Marilyn Monroe, for example. Yep. All right. If she was not 1950, like 1800s, ancient Egypt kind of, if she wore that low-cut dress while she met the royal, she would have been known as a woman with a hysterical woman, because she's done something so completely disgusting and she's not covering up. So deviant. Yeah, it would be female hysteria. Yeah. Which is crazy. But if it wasn't, most of the time it was like a disease, but it was just categorized as that. Yeah. But it was, a lot of it was just due to behaviours of menstrual cycles, being a blossoming woman, like being independent, your sexuality becomes more, prominent. Yeah, flourish a little bit more. Yeah, damn. A lot of that is what it was, but because they didn't follow those norms, it was outrageous. You were crazy. And I think that still lingers today when like so many doctors or like family members or people in society say, oh yeah, it's just your hormones. Oh, you're depressed, it's just your hormones. Oh, you got pains, it's just your hormones. You're on your period. I'm like, no babe, girl, I've got cancer. Literally, I'm like, if my jaw's sore, I'm like, oh, my jaw's so sore. No, it's just your hormones. And found out, no jaw joints. I have no jaw joints. Female hysteria, girls. But this also goes back to it's also seen in Salem. Yeah, is a good example of female hysteria. And deviance. Yeah, and deviance, and that sense of independent, strong-willed woman. I read a great book. Pardon me. I read a great book about that one time. It was called The Manningtree Witches. I think I've read something to do with that. It's such an interesting piece of history. And it talks about this this girl who is the protagonist and her mother, and how they don't live with a man, and so they're seen as witches.
Yep. Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know, 20-something.
Yeah.
And still not wed.
Yeah.
And in that time, it was so...
Yeah, you're classified.
shocking.
You're classified as a witch because no man could love that kind of thing, and that's pretty. That's a lot like what this study has shown. That in there was a study done in the Chinese region. People that did not conform to local norms were labelled as witches, and households tagged as witches were more likely to be headed by women. Or were actually slightly wealthier than average. Yeah. So if they were
rich women,
they were witches. Like they
riches or witches?
Witches.
Which riches?
Rich. Oh, say that 10 times. But that's that's pretty interesting. I feel like that now. Like if you're a rich woman, it's like
witchery.
No, it's more. What does your husband do for work? And it's like, I don't have a husband. Or it's like, how much are you selling your body for? And it's like, Gil, I'm a strong, independent woman. Like,
I'm a manager.
And
I feel like...
I manage.
And, like, it's kind of similar to that, talking about how women have been disadvantaged in terms of mental health across the ages. A great section of history to look at is lobotomies. My hyperfixation. So this shows the history of female mental health great. I was reading this Times 2021 article, which let me explain what a lobotomy is. So basically, it's a medical procedure where you get like a little ice pick, insert it into the eye, and cut.
Did you just see me stim? the way I did that.
So they put like a little ice pick in your eye socket and shove it up into your brain to sever the prefrontal lobes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, fun.
So
let's do one. Girls trip together.
Lobotomy at class.
Walk out with
piercing. Lobotomy at Priceline.
Hairhouse Warehouse.
Oh my god.
Lobotomies at Hairhouse Warehouse. They do everything.
They do all piercings. Including brain piercings.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I absolutely fucked up this marvelous creation.
Katrina.
Female hysteria in Woolworths, where I was just chucking this block.
You want a little mini custard tart, love? You want a little marvelous creation stuff? Anyway, back to the lobotomies. 84% of the 1,340 subjects from France, Switzerland, and Belgium from 1935 to 1985, these lobotomies were done on women.
Why though?
Female hysteria.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is how it
So, like, literally, you could get a lobotomy. Like, if you had a husband, say Logan didn't like one of your opinions, he could send you to a doctor saying, oh, Kez has got opinions. They'd give you a lobotomy. I'm not even kidding.
Fuck.
Yeah. So, according to 19th century psychiatry, female independence was madness. That was a diagnosis. So Elizabeth Packard in 1860 said, I thought a woman... What did I write? I thought a woman have just as good as a right to my... I thought as a woman I have just as good a right to my opinion as my husband has to his. But assertive women in those days were swiftly dispatched to asylums, institutionalized for causing the greatest annoyances to the family.
I mean...
That is such a male problem.
That sounds like such like a male...
That sounds like Andrew Tate.
That I generally think like a misogynistic man.
Did Andrew Tate order all lobotomies? Is he a reincarnation of the psychiatrist?
Holy fuck.
But he got dumber. If he was a psychiatrist
He
in a
would
part life.
be that man. Oh, you know what? Oh, fuck if I saw that man on the street. God damn it.
He looks like an egg, and I just want to crack
He
it.
looks like a chimpanzee. Like, he looks like an underdeveloped human. Like, Neanderthal.
Yes, he actually does.
He actually looks like a Neanderthal.
But, like,
and
he's too hairless for that.
he's got the fucking chin, the lack of chin for it.
Not me singing now.
What the hell?
So, yes,
Oh,
women were institutionalized for being the greatest annoyances to the family.
maybe I need a lobotomy so I
Yeah.
can forget about Andrew Tate.
Can we just sever that part of my brain, the part that's holding that memory? And for defying all domestic control. When Elizabeth's husband looked into the matter, he found he could arrange his wife's committal simply by the request of the husband, and specifically without the evidence of insanity required in other cases.
That
So
is fucked up.
husbands could legit just order their wives to get lobotomies. Where can I get me a man to do that?
Man that cares about my mental health.
And they would turn into, like, literal potatoes. Like, they couldn't speak. They were very relaxed, though.
Is when they got lobotomies, I don't know much about it. I'll ask the infatuated, hyperfixated girl. When they got lobotomies, they were obviously like out of it when it happened.
Well, I don't know if they're under at all, because they had to have their eyes open.
Yeah, but they were drugged up, I
Hopefully.
assume, because that's fucked up. But did it cause long-term effects, lobotomies? Were they, like, a vegetable?
Yeah.
Fuck, okay.
Your prefrontal cortex doesn't work after that.
Because of that, like, syringe little thing that that ice pick thing that they put in there.
So they can
Fuck.
talk,
Yeah.
but they don't remember anything. They can't really do anything for themselves.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So women who studied or read, or who simply had minds of their own and a determination to use them, were demonstrating eccentricity of conduct, which meant they were morally insane. A diagnosis invented by James Cowell Pritchard in
Search him
1835.
up. Search him up. What does he look like?
I was actually going to put a picture on
You
him.
know what? Search him up. What does this fucker look like? What is his name?
Imagine if he looks like Andrew Tate.
Oh my god, he's British. Oh. I thought that was him for a moment. Oh my god. That's Christopher Columbus.
That's
Who is
Andrew Tate
that?
in 1835
Oh my god.
with hair.
What is that?
Oh my god.
god.
No, I'm not even kidding.
That's actually...
I kind of see the resemblance.
Ooh, look at that bowling ball, motherfucker. Oh. The episode on Andrew Tate is coming.
We're still mentally preparing
Oh my
ourselves. We
God,
might need a lobotomy.
I might need a lobotomy after it.
Wait,
Maybe
it gets worse.
During it.
It gets worse. So the theory ran that a woman's sexual organs caused her madness, so cutting off her clitoris would calm her. Clitoris? Labial majora? Damn, girl, how many pussies you got? Doctors claimed
Oh
a
my
70% success rate. Other treatments of the era included removal of the ovaries. I wouldn't mind getting that done.
I wouldn't mind because that means not period.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Get rid
The
of
injection
the
of
uterus.
ice water inside intimate orifices. Ouch. And the application of leeches and caustics to the genitals.
You know what? Fuck, I'd love to put a leech on.
Who run the world? Men. Clearly.
What the fuck? Hold on. I need to reread that. The theory caused her madness.
Yeah.
The clitoris, gone. Her legs were cut off. Her arms were cut off. Her ears were cut off.
Her clitoris was cut off. Her ovaries were cut off.
I can't believe this.
Yeah. But then, in 1968,
Oh,
the minor tranquilizer Valium, thank the Lord for Valium, all hail Valium, alias Satanas, Lucifer. Marketed as an antidote for socially dysfunctional women, the excessively ambitious, the visually unkept, the unmarried, the menopausal misfits, was the best-selling drug in the world, as well as one prescribed overwhelmingly to women. Today, symptoms are often in women's heads and or are caused by hormones. Anyway.
Wow. Anyways, lobotomy.
Thank you for coming on that wild ride with me.
Lobotomy. I'm going to need to go get one.
Yeah, but I don't want my clitoris cut off. No, thank you. No, mama.
No, mama.
But that still happens today, you know.
No.
Yeah. Genital mutilation is a thing still. It's really disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, I think in third world countries mainly. Yeah. Or, like, heavily religious countries.
Circumcisions.
Yeah.
Like, leave that bit of skin there.
Don't touch that.
Leave that alone, girl.
Allah created that for a reason.
Literally.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, that's not my religion.
Anyways, a study was done by Mizok
and Bubaka.
2021, slay. But they reported that serious mental illness is more common among women than men. But women with serious conditions are often overlooked in psychiatric research, treated less effectively with psychiatric drugs, and face discrimination and stigma. I was about to say smegma. And that is man's dick cheese. Anyways.
Smegma?
Yeah.
Babe, that's lava.
Smegma is like rotten dick cheese. Oh, no. No,
it's lava.
No, I think it's like, it's like,
Oh.
I told you.
Oh, I'm making a...
Smegma is a harmless combination of oils, skin cells, sweat, and other fluids that accumulate around your genitals. You know who doesn't
I think it was magma.
Oh. I was like, girl, what? Magma is molten lava. Smegma is crusty cheese. It's crusty cheese. This wouldn't happen if they got circumcisions.
Good point. Maybe there is a reason.
Anyways.
Preventing smegma since 1000 BC.
Literally. Anyways, well, I was saying before we were distracted, they face discrimination and stigma by medical professionals who diagnose them and oversee their care. That is why we don't want help.
So,
I can't.
This makes me think, so serious mental illness is more common among women than men.
Mm.
Is it more common, or are they just overdiagnosing?
Or is it just more diagnosed in females and underdiagnosed in men?
And that,
to be completely honest, I think it's exactly that. I don't think...
And it doesn't benefit either gender, because the men aren't getting help and the women are getting stigmatized.
Yeah, like I don't understand it. Like, I don't see why one gender has more mental health than the other.
Neither do I.
Like, I don't know why it would be a thing.
Sorry, girls, I'm just pulling up my tights.
Just fixing up her kids.
It was, my tights were beneath my belly and it was just making me feel very fat, so. Anyway, moving on to Puba and Tianen, 2016, we discuss forced institutionalization.
Oh, God.
So, they explained such attitudes have, stigmatizing attitudes have had a range of practical consequences from the mid-1800s through to the early 20th century. For instance, societal norms, male expectations of how women should act, and limits on women's rights led to forced institutionalization of women. For example, symptoms of epilepsy, depression, or lacking a menstrual cycle may have been labelled as insanity. Lobotomies and institutionalizations were options for this.
Wow.
Or for simply having opinions. You could be institutionalized.
I would have been so quickly in that.
Yeah, I would be in the funny farm so quickly.
I would have been in there because I had epilepsy. Ooh. I had no menstrual cycle for a little bit while I was growing up. And I'm just straight up sad. She's crazy. Oh my God. Anyways, let's talk about men. Let's talk about men. This is a study from Chatmon 2020. Although both men and women are affected by mental illness, it is oftentimes overlooked in males, which is what we just established. Mental health among men often goes untreated because they are far less likely to seek mental health treatment than women.
And I wonder if that's because it's more, they're more stigmatized. It's something to consider.
They're stigmatized. Men
are more.
Men are stigmatized because if they have mental illness, they're weak.
Yeah. So
toxic masculinity.
That's probably why they don't seek help.
Yeah. I think there is a lot of stigma around mental health as well.
Absolutely.
Women for, crazy reasons. Men for
internalization.
Yeah.
Men seem to internalize their feelings a lot more. In fact, a statistic from Mental Health America 2020, 79% of 38,364 people die by suicide rate at 4 times higher than women.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And I'm like, are they just more motivated, to actually get the job done? Or are they more capable to get the job done? What is going on there?
I don't know. Have you heard that, men don't receive their first flowers until, their funeral?
Mm.
Yeah.
My brother's girlfriend buys him flowers all the time.
I bought Logan a bouquet for our 1 year.
I used to buy my ex-boyfriend's flowers all the time.
I love flowers.
Me too.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's pretty sad, huh?
Yeah. Men deserve flowers. Buy men flowers. Except Andrew Tate. He doesn't deserve flowers.
And same with James Charles.
Yeah, James Charles. No, sisters. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. So back to the men. They also die due to alcohol-related causes at 62,000 in comparison to women at 26,000. Men are also 2 to 3 times more likely to misuse drugs than women, according to a study from the Center for Behavioral Health Statistics and Quality. These statistics are troubling because they reinforce the notion that males are less likely to seek help and are more likely than women to turn to dangerous, unhealthy behaviors. And this, I feel like, is reinforced by Mr. Andrew Tate himself, and the whole patriarchy, because it's toxic masculinity.
I can't.
Which is, toxic masculinity is the demonstration of masculinities that are enforced by restriction in behaviors such as crying, fear, like we said, based on gender roles that amplify existing power structures that favor the dominance of men. Toxic masculinity may lead to difficulty in expressing emotions, which is seen often. So, here's my hypothesis. Men are stigmatized more, but it's men's fault for creating toxic masculinity, reinforcing toxic masculinity, and then starting the cycle of stigma.
The way you just came, ate the plate, left no crumbs, just cleaned the house, and then left.
Men, get your fucking act together. You're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a very, big cycle. If toxic masculinity...
This is why men shouldn't run the world.
If men didn't create toxic masculinity, then we wouldn't be here right now.
That's all I'm going to say.
Men would be in institutions.
Men would get help. Stunning, girl.
Stunning.
Men could get help if it weren't for men.
That's going to send me to an institution because I've just burped.
Bye.
And bye, girl. Andrew Tate's going to come for me.
Well, I'm going into the institution for saying that it's all men's fault that they can't seek help. So.
We were witches in a past life.
Call me Blair. Anyway, moving on. The overall prevalence of mental illness in men is typically lower.
What?
And is that because they're underdiagnosed, because they don't seek help? I don't know, girls. I don't know what I've written here. Does man versus women stigma? Okay. So, depending on gender, does culture also have an influence? Like, does that moderate how gender interacts with stigma?
I think it does.
Yeah, because, I mean, look, I wasn't able to find a bunch of studies because I didn't look into this as much, but from just, like, my logic, I look into things like, I think in the Japanese culture, they have, like, a similar version to the Mexican culture where it's, like, the macho man.
Yeah.
Like, in Japan, I think there's, like, a same version of it. Like, there's something else. So I think, I feel like in Arabic or Indian families as well, there's a big power disparity.
There is a man of the house kind of thing. Obviously, like, I don't have much to say about it because I know nothing about the cultures, obviously.
Well, I'm Sri Lankan, so...
Yeah, well, I don't know much about it because
Literally, the women in Sri Lanka don't drive. My nana doesn't drive.
Really?
Yeah, no, the men drive them everywhere. Wow. Yeah, they don't have the power to drive.
Yeah, but I do think that there is always a man of the house. I mean, like, I experience it at work, like, whenever there are certain men of certain cultures that as soon as I try and tell them that they can't do that, they yell at me, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
I know exactly which culture you're referring to.
Yeah, I am literally like, shut up. Like, I am
the boss.
I work here, you don't. Like,
I'm the owner of this fucking house.
I'm Pam. I'm Pam.
And I'm the owner of this fucking house. Okay, so another study by Worth and Bodenhausen, 2009. What the fuck? Why did I say it like that? Said, males are more likely than females to be stereotyped as violent. Females are more likely than males to be stereotyped as dependent. So stigma in different ways. I think that's interesting to consider. Previous research also suggests that women are generally subjected to less mental illness stigma than men by a study in Fahrenheit 1981. So a little bit out of date, but could potentially be valid still. Behaving in a gender atypical way may itself be a source of stigmatization, and backlash may ensue, which is what you were saying about, like, men being, having emotions. So if individuals who display gender atypical mental illness symptoms may be stigmatized to a greater extent than persons who display gender typical symptoms. So, out of 186 participants who were 54% female, 46% male, mean age 47 years, skewness 0.22, age range 18 to 89, reflected these results. Now, let's discuss our queer folk, because it is Pride Month, people.
Of course.
Happy Pride, ally.
Happy Pride.
I think hands down, look, before we further this argument, I think queer people are probably the most stigmatized out of any gender.
I think they're stigmatized not just mental health, but
that's what
everything in general.
Like, I was thinking intersectionally.
Yeah, and then that messes with their mental health. Yeah. But the LGBTQI the LGBTQI community are at a higher mental health risk compared to others, which you were just saying. I think is valid. I think they go through a lot when really they just want to live.
I just want to
live. Negative attitudes towards queer people and or mental illnesses may affect access to high quality mental health care. LGB
adults are more than twice as likely as heterosexual adults to experience a mental health condition. Transgender individuals are nearly 4 times as likely as cisgender individuals to experience a mental health condition. Many factors aside, this is because many people identifying as LGBTQ face discrimination, family rejection, harassment, and fear of violence. So the stigma is compounding. This is an intersectional perspective.
Yeah, what we were saying. It's so sad. Like, we just want to live, girl.
Yeah.
Mama.
So what can we do about this stigma, about all this stigma in the world? So Stuart from 2016 said...
First, we get rid of Andrew Tate.
Yeah, he needs to leave.
First, we get rid of Andrew Tate.
And then maybe Elon Musk. Can they both go to Mars?
I do not like Elon Musk. Like, I really do not like that man.
Who else can we send to Mars?
There's something about me.
Oh my God, imagine Putin, Elon Musk, and Andrew Musk. Andrew Musk. Oh no! Andrew Tate up in Mars together.
Oh my God.
They'd have so much fun blowing each other up, if you know what I mean.
Ooh. Elon Musk he'd have a field day. Isn't he like polyamorous, like open relationship?
I hope so.
Everything. Yeah, LA, happy Pride, Elon.
Get behind it, girl.
His gun's pink.
What kind of gun?
I don't know. Maybe like a little rifle goes pew pew pew.
A little taser. So anyway, for example, the average per capita spending on mental health care is less than $2 in the US and 25 cents in low-income countries. Almost half the world's population lives in a country with less than one psychiatrist per 200,000 residents. I don't know if I did enough zeros.
What are you doing?
I'll give you my visual.
Why are you punching everything? Oh my God, put that down. Put it down.
So, firstly, we need better healthcare.
We need better healthcare.
It's like they don't even count mental health as healthcare.
You know what? You know what's crazy?
What?
The way mental health is so easily, like, when you go, it's so easily, like, treated. You'll go there, you'll be like, oh, I'm sad. And they whip out the dust chest and slam it in your face.
The fucking
dust. As soon as you tick, like, one wrong box,
it's like
you are severely, like...
Anything that's on slightly disagree,
like...
prescribe medication. $50 a month.
Yeah, like, as soon as it's like that, I feel like maybe it could be diagnosed a little bit better in a way. Do you know what I mean?
Better diagnosis, supporting from Medicare. Please subsidise my mental health medications, otherwise I will be a danger to society. Bars. Danger. But really, look, what's the Prime Minister's name? Albanese. Albanese, look, I'm here to reason with you.
He's an ally, though. Like, he's a good dude, so he'll probably listen.
Okay, Albanese, ally to ally, I need you to do something about mental health care. Please, let my meds...
I need you to do something about climate change, please.
Yeah, that too. But
thank you.
Just on the topic of mental health, can you please subsidise my mental health medication? Trust me, I'm thinking what's best for you, because nobody wants me to run around.
Claim it on tax or something?
Yeah, I don't care. Just give me my money back.
Because I'm sure work is an effect of mental health.
Yeah, it's good for the economy. It's good for society because I won't be running around bothering anyone. Trust me, no one wants to see me unmedicated. It's scary.
Nobody wants to see me during a manic episode in Flower Power.
Oh my God.
Been there, done that.
Snipping.
No, take. Girl, I made a plant corner under a manic episode. Like, it was crazy. And then I came down after like a week and I was exhausted.
Man, but at least you had lots of pretty flowers.
At least I was productive. So, like,
yeah. I released a single one time.
I want to go to there again, maybe.
Yeah.
Hit me in the middle of my shift. It was so weird.
I need to go and create.
Yeah, I was like, I need to express immediately. Like, it was so crazy. I, like, called into work the next day unwell. I was like, nah, not coming in.
Not coming in. Got things to do.
I've
Got a life corner. Got to play a corner.
I've got a life to live. It was fucking crazy. I was the most productive I had
She is
ever
crazy, but she is free.
I am crazy, but I am fucking free.
But yeah,
it's crazy.
I really don't have any other solutions apart from better healthcare, like public health.
Mm-hmm. Better healthcare.
Oh,
Tax deductible.
yeah, and
get rid of Andrew Tate.
That's a big pointer. And let's discuss things. Let's have a heart to heart.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see some men crying.
Yeah, literally. If you are a man and you don't know how to express yourself, bro, cry to me. I don't give a shit.
Cry in public. Cry on TikTok.
Yeah.
They're great over there.
But just don't cry over the fact that you've cheated on your girlfriend and your girlfriend has, like, broken up with you, because we'll laugh.
Look, I would let them cry because that's valid.
I would watch them and be like,
but then I'm like,
you cheat?
Look, you did that to yourself, but I understand that you're sad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
yes, but please talk if you are a man or a woman or
education is important as well. Yeah. Stay educated. Don't perpetuate stereotypes like, oh, she's psycho. Oh, she's dangerous. Oh, I'm so OCD. Oh, I'm so bipolar. The weather's so bipolar.
I'm so my ADHD is kicking it. No, shut the fuck up.
I'm so autistic. The world is caving in.
The way I did. Oh my god.
Are they going to sleep? Maybe.
Oh my god. The way I did a quiz, like this official, like, are you autistic test online, and it was like, seek medical help, and I was like,
yeah,
I don't know how to take that.
Was that the one that Celeste gave us?
I think so.
Yeah. I got extremely high in that as well.
Yeah, it told me to see someone. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
But then psychiatrists are also really expensive.
Yeah.
$400, like, no.
It's expensive. It's expensive to get your mental health fixed.
So, again, should be subsidised. That's all I have to say for that. Anyway, it's hard out here.
It is hard out here, girl. It's hard out here being mentally ill. Unwell.
Yeah.
But in saying that, if you do not feel like yourself, if you feel like there is issues, please seek help.
Yeah,
we do
follow
recommend
these helplines if you do need help.
Ding, 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 ding.
We'll put some up. And by we, I mean me.
We'll put some up.
Yeah, we'll put some up. So, yeah, thank you for coming to our TED Talk today.
Yes. I think that wraps it up. That was big.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Mentally draining, that one.
Yeah. What should we do next week? Let's have a look at our topics. What should we do?
Reading smut.
I kind of feel like we should do that.
I will shit my pants. I will shart everywhere because I'll be so excited. I love the juiciness.
Should we get someone on? Maybe we could talk about body image. Or we could read smart. Or we could go through and read a Reddit thing. We could do Am I the Asshole?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that, just so that be a nice, like, laughable.
Yeah, that'll be funny.
Yeah.
All right, so next time we will do Am I the Asshole?
On Reddit,
where we react to people being assholes.
And we'll discuss if they are the asshole.
Yeah, which one of you was the asshole?
Yeah, which one of you has left the toilet seat up, girls?
So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in.
We did, in fact, come to slay today because it's Pride Month, and we did stay to gay because it's Pride Month. So
thank you for listening, everyone.
And don't forget to remember that it is very, very hard.
Girl, I missed it. I didn't know what you were saying. Let's do it again. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
It's hard out here. We sound like a pheromone.
You may say